European lawmakers have voted strongly in favour of forcing Google to break itself up. They say its dominance makes it a virtual monopoly. Now, the vote doesn't mean Google will necessarily be split up. It's not binding on European regulators. The EU Parliament is recommending that Google's search business is split aside from its other operations. It would then form a separate entity. You'd have other business and search. Members of Parliament have no authority to actually enforce such a breakup. That would go to the regulators and to the Commission. But the mere fact that the Parliament has sent such a message will be taken seriously by the Commissioners. Rivals are watching the Google case very closely. Yelp, the review site, has complained that Google is giving less prominence to its reviews than to Google's own. Yelp's Director of Public Policy, Lowe, joins me now from San Francisco. Luther, obviously you have a vested interest in this, and I'm sure you'll tell me that consumers have a vested interest in it as well. But fundamentally, you would like to see the Parliament's recommendation be followed by the Commission.
Richard, thank you for having me on. Happy Thanksgiving from San Francisco. What's going on in Europe today is that a strong message was sent that Google's abuse of dominance, its stifling of innovation, its prevention of competition, and worst of all, its degradation in consumer welfare should end. And the signal that they're giving to the European Commission is that it should use all tools available to it. Right. Commissioner Vestager and DG Competition should use all the tools available in order to ensure that consumer welfare is maximized.
So come on, let's strip down to basics here. You want them broken in two or beyond.
Well, here's the problem in local search, the world that Yelp and TripAdvisor and
I'm going to stop you, sir. Forgive me, sir, because I can hear the viewer saying at home, he's not answering the question. You know, is it time to break up Google?
Richard, when a mother in Berlin does a search for a pediatrician on Google today, she sees a hardwired Google Plus powered box. She's not seeing the best information on the web, which Google is perfectly capable of serving up with its organic algorithms. And so what we're concerned with is the tying of Google Plus Local and the Google Plus products to its outstanding search technology. And that's really what the issue is here. And so if non-binding resolutions like this lead to broader discussions and examinations of these problems, then that's a step in the right direction.
And what seems to be happening is perhaps the question asked, who does have the power to break up a Google, something like that? I mean, is it a case, whether it's the FTC in the United States, the DOJ in the US, or is it your feeling that for this sort of regulation, it may well be the Europeans that lead the way?
Well, Europe is certainly the battleground, so to speak, where a lot of these discussions are very active right now. The Federal Trade Commission, unfortunately, didn't really do anything meaningful in its investigations, and so the landscape right now where these debates are happening is Europe and the European Commission. Now, the good news is Google doesn't have to be broken up. Google could very easily solve these problems itself by implementing some of the solutions that we've proposed on focusontheuser.eu, where effectively you turn on the Google algorithm for local searches and allow meritocracy to define how search results are served up. Today, Google Plus is the dominant way that local search results are seen. And so when you do a search for a bicycle repair shop in Denmark or a pediatrician in Berlin, you're not going to see the best information on the web. And in a sense, that's Google breaking a promise to its users. We're just asking Google, hey, start acting more like Google.
Yes, but you're also, you have a vested interest.
Ultimately, this is about consumer welfare, Richard.
Oh, I don't think you need to be embarrassed about admitting an vested interest here. I mean, you're claiming that you're one of those who's being harmed.
Well, to be sure, the preferencing of Google's own property and search results ensures that competitors like Yelp and TripAdvisor and others are not, aren't exposed to as many consumers. But ultimately, it's about the consumer outcome. Is if a consumer is not getting the best information on the web and may not even be aware of it, that's not a great outcome. And so that's what really Focus on the User.eu is designed to educate folks about, is how consumers are ultimately the ones who have skin in the game here.
Thank you. Now, and of course, as I thank you, I need to apologize to you for not wishing you a happy Thanksgiving as we began. Good of you to come in and talk to us on your Thanksgiving Day, sir. Thank you.
Anytime. Thank you, Richard.
Now, with a computer on your desk,